Hello guys, so now let's continue from here. In the previous video, as you know guys, we did all these things here. As you know, this is the function to allow user login the application, and this is the validation. We are validating if the user not fill the information, so we will display this message, please fill the correct email and password. So yeah, from here, after this catch error, when something occurs, so we are displaying the error if everything is goes well. So after this catch error here, let's remove this dot, sorry, not just don't remove this. Here we have to give conditions if current user is not equals to null. So obviously we have to allow user login. But first of all, as you know guys, we are using the locally data, we are saving locally data, and we are getting it by shared preference. I mean, we will get the information from firebase database and we will save it locally in the phone memory. And because we don't want to again and again fetch the data from the firebase, if somebody don't have internet or something, in this condition we can get the data from the phone gallery, which we will save by the shared preference. So after this, here over visit, let's create a function first, and it will be type future, and let's give the function name fetch info fetch info and fetch info and save locally. This is the function name. It will be a synchronized type. So this is your function name, fetch information and save locally. So basically this function will fetch the data information from the firebase, which is user registered already. Then we will save it to the locally, and we will allow user to log in. So now here inside this function, let's say await, and let's say firebase store.instance dot collection, and our collection is, as you know guys, come to the here, this is the name of our restaurants info. This is the collection name of this data, so we have to write here this. So let's say restaurants info. Make sure the spelling should be same, don't mismatch. Yeah, it's right. So now, and here inside this function we have to pass two parameter. One is user current user, and after this restaurants info, here dot doc, and here current user dot uid, and dot, then here dot get, and let's break this here like this, and then dot, then remove this, put two curly brackets and then semicolon, and this value let's give the snapshot. Then here, and as you know guys, now we are fetching the restaurant data from here, which let me show you. So this is the collection, this is the collection name. From this collection we are getting the current user uid, and which is this one. For example, let's say this is the current user and this user is trying to log in, so we are fetching this in this specifically id. This is the id for this from this collection. This collection is the main base. Inside this collection we have a lot of ids, but we are targeting the specifics id if the user already have here id registered. If here there is no id, so can nobody cannot log in, because already we have here these ids, I mean 1 2 3 4 5 5, so 5 users has been registered successfully, so we have this id. So we are fetching this id to allow the login, and we are fetching this id to save the locally also, so that again we don't want to fetch from here. So yeah, come here, and after this here we have to write our shared preference. So here write async await and shared preferences dot set to string, same we did in our registration. So our key is the specific user id we are saving in. Let me show you here. This is the registration screen, and here as you can see guys, this is shared preference, we are saving this in uid. So same we have to do here. So right here uid, and here the value will be current user dot uid, and put semicolon at the end, and here this is the click on it and add a null check like this, exclamation mark, is null safety. Now let's another share preference like email, password and all. So just copy this from here, this one, copy this, come back here, and after this paste it here, and here in the email. So now here, as you know, we are fetching the data from the firebase, and this name is saving here. Let me show you this restaurant name. This is the name, so we have to put the same name there, restaurant, because we are fetching from the database. So we will use this snapshot. So here just remove this, and right here snapshot dot data, and here add a null check, and inside this we have to write this resto name, and no, not here, just remove this, cut it from here, and inside these brackets here like this, name snapshot. This snapshot we are taking from the firebase, and then we are getting this name inside these brackets. Or instead of using email controller.txt, you can fetch the data from snapshot also, like this we did here. So simply you can just copy this and here paste it here like this, and here the email is let me show you what is the name, resto email. This is the resto email name. So let's fetch this, come here and write here resto email, and as well this restaurant profile image also. So just remove this and paste it here, snapshot dot, and resto image name is resto image url, this one, resto image url, this is the name resto. Copy this, come back here, and inside this paste it here like this. So yeah, we are fetching these all information from the firebase, and we are saving it to the locally for the specific user which is trying to log in the application. So yeah, we are fetching this here and saving it to the locally. So now as you come above here, you will see this is the validating. We are validating our form. If the user successfully fill all the information correctly, email and password, so we will send user to login now. We will call this function. So allow login user. So this pass this function here, allow login user, this. So if the validate is going well, so we are going to allow user. by this function. We are allowing user to log in, I mean. And here we are saying after press on login button we will display please wait, and here if something happens, some error occurs, so we will display an error here. And then if there is no error and there is no any field are empty, everything is goes well, so we will send user now here. So if the current user, which is current user, I mean the specific user going to login, so here if he's not equals or she's not equals to null, so here null. So first of all we will get the data from firebase and we will save it locally and then allow the user login. So here let's pass this function first. So first fetch data locally, and here will be current user, and add a null safety like this, and inside this remove this first, and after this say dot, then remove this, put to curly bracket, add in semicolon. Now here inside this we have to send user to the home screen. So navigator dot push context and material page root, and it will be home screen, put semicolon and click on it, import it, and here after this you will see error, just put two down brackets like this and add a counts modifier here like this. And one more thing, if everything is goes well and successfully, so we will disappear the alert loading alert dialogs which is saying please wait. So here let's say navigator dot pop contest, so it will disappear, it will close the dialog box which is after clicking on the login button will display this one, please wait. So if everything goes well and authenticated and going to login user well, so we will close this loading alert, please wait, by this navigator powder. So yeah, that's all. We have completed all this validating and allow users function to login and fetching data from firebase and saving to locally.
So before testing the application, we have to pass our this function, this validate function, to our login button. And inside this validate we are passing this allow user login function. As you can see guys here, this is our main function which is uh, allowing user to login into application. So this function allow login users we are passing here. Here we have commented this login, and this function we will pass to our button. So come here below in the login button, and this is our login button. So inside this we have to pass it validate login, put semicolon at the end. Now we need to pass controller also. Still we forget guys to pass the controllers in login button also. So here these are the text form field. After this write here controller, and it will be email controller because we need email to login, because this is, sorry, this is password guys, password controller, this is the password controller as you can see guys. And before it we have this email. So for email we have controller email controller. So yeah, that's all. Now we have to we are ready to go. Now we can check the application. So now if you are in debug mode, so first close here from the stop, then after stop click again on this run button, and we have to wait a while until it will install in our phone. And this is our phone screen. Now we are on our splash screen. With a few seconds, as you can see, this is splash screen, and now we will be on login. As you can see, we are on login screen. So now let's test these things, we are allowing login or not. So if you see in the firebase here, let's come here, authentication. We have two user at present. These two users is authenticated and registered in this application. So let's log in by this Joe at the gmail.com by this. So for example, the Joe want to log in the application, so let's log in here. So right here, let's say Joe, and just write the wrong email. We will check it's validating or not. So Joe gmail.com, sorry, gmail.com. I'm not using at the rate. We will check it is displaying error or not. And here let's give the password. I will provide the password, wrong password, anything. This is the wrong password, so let's check it's validating or not. So click on this as login. You can see the email address is badly formatted because we write the wrong email. So click on it, just make this right. So now I am there. Now let's click on OK again. Let's see what happened, because still the password is wrong. So click. As you can see, the password is invalid or the user doesn't have an password. So because we have to write correct password which is authenticated by Firebase, we have saved in our Firebase. So let's make it correct. So here our password, let's say 123123, and then click OK. And as you can see, we are on home screen because we have filled the correct information. Now we are on home screen. If I click on this logout, and now we are logout again, let's log in. joe@gmail.com, and the password is here 123123, and let's click on OK. Click on OK, and as you can see, we are again logged in. So for example, now the user will be on this page until the user will not click on this logout button. So I hope you understand all these things. So guys, thank you for watching this video, and we will see you in the next video.